Welcome to Passage to Profit, the show for entrepreneurs looking for real inspiration. Every week, discover journeys of innovation that fuel new ideas and redefine success.
And now it is time for intellectual property news.
Yes, so we're revisiting something that we spoke about a couple of months ago or so. Somebody pirated a whole bunch of books, didn't pay anything for them, and Anthropic went through and uploaded them all to its database and then used it to give answers to AI queries and got sued by the book authors. There was a class action lawsuit. So it said they took pirated copies of their works to train as chatbot.
Yeah, they took over 500,000 books and they just uploaded them to their database. And they were all pirated books, and the company knew that they were pirated books. And the first part of the case was, well, is using this copyrighted content transformative in the sense that they've taken the material and turned it into something new when they use it to respond to queries? The court said, yes, that's allowed under copyright law. But the court came back and also said that using pirated copyrighted material is a no-no. So they were going to have a hearing on this. It turns out that they've reached a settlement, which means that it's about $1.5 billion in settlement, which sounds like a lot, but it really means that each author gets about $3,000, which is probably more than they would have gotten if they had actually sold the book. But it still kind of seems a little bit on the light side, considering all the money that Anthropic is going to be making using this content.
Right, but if they had to buy all those books, then people still would have gotten compensated somewhat.
Right.
So it feels like this is a little bit of a win because Anthropic did have to pay something. It couldn't just take people's information and use it. And that's the big fight right now.
Yeah,
right?
and we were talking about this in the cab on the way over to the studio, and you were like, oh, this is a precedent, right? This is a precedent for future disputes. But and it is. I mean, hopefully the AI companies will compensate authors and creators for their graphics and their written content and their movies and their films. But what about all the other stuff like the blog posts and all the other content that's out there that is maybe not so quantifiable? I mean, you can look at a book and you can say, oh, okay, well, this has an author. It's very easy to, kind of connect the AI to the book. But what about all the other stuff, like all the Facebook data, for example, that they mine, and all the Instagram data? There's no compensation for that, right?
Right.
So
I don't know. It's going to be a tough one.
yeah. Well, one of the Anthropic executives said if the court had awarded full damages for this, they'd be out of business. So their business model is built on using stolen content. And it's the only way that they can stay in business, at least at this point.
No, I wonder if you took a page from a book and you put it into AI, and maybe we could and said, could you rearrange this to make it sound like mine? Would it happen, and could you use that?
That's a good copyright law question.
That's the question of, is it transformed? So if it takes it and rewrites it and says it differently, that, according to the court, is a legitimate transformation, and it's okay. But if you use the underlying book or page and that's copyrighted, you have to first compensate the author for that.
I think it's going to be easy enough to get it to similar and use it.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Interesting.
I mean, that's probably the reason why they're all focused right now on using Reddit and Wikipedia, and why Elon came out and said we're going to make our own Grokpedia, like last week, right? Is because who owns Creative Commons? Like that's what they're essentially looking for, right?
Right.
Like, how do you monetize that? Reddit.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that adds a lot of credibility to the AI business. You relying on Reddit, right?
It is creating jobs though for the lawyers.
Yeah, we're very happy that there's so much, so much disputed in all this.
Have to learn.